We don't just cover the news.
Think of entertainment.
Hi everyone, welcome to 28 Spot Show here on TV Sapienza. It's that program we've created for young ones where we talk to them. Most importantly, we give them responsibilities that they translate into discussions, talk shows, poems. But recently, we have been getting into issues that concern teenagers. We found out that there are lots of issues that teenagers are facing. And we'll try as much as possible to step out of the box to getting people that will inspire and encourage teenagers to become better individuals. I am Oma, you're very sweet on radio and TV, and I've got with me delectable, amazing I call her Sister Console. She actually corrected me right now because I've been calling her Console, but she said it's Console.
Yes.
A source of consolation, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Console.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, glad to have you here with us.
Thank you so much.
It actually took, thank God that she's here today, because we've been trying to get her on this program for the past 3 months.
Yes, since September.
Yeah, we've been trying to get her on this platform, you know, but thankfully so, she's here, and we look forward to having you some other time.
It will be amazing.
Let's finish the one we came to.
Yes, ma'am.
So how are you?
I'm fine, ma'am.
Okay, so Console is a graphics designer.
Yes.
And she charges a lot. But before we get to that point, let's start from, she didn't just become a graphic designer. So Console, let us have a feel of who you are before you became a graphic designer.
Okay, my name is Console Adolisa Ani. I'm from Enugu State and I studied in University of Benin.
Okay.
I graduated 2018. Okay. So it was...
What did you study?
History, yes.
History and international studies?
Yes, history major.
Okay, history
yes,
major.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so 2019, during the COVID-19 era, that was when I...
That's 2019, 2020?
Yes, okay. Yes, that was when I finished my service. So, you know, that period took a toll on a lot of people. So, yeah. I was one of them. So, I was just home and I was wondering, what will I do? What will I do? So, there was a wave of digital skills in the online space because everybody was just at home. So, I said, I've always loved creativity. I've always loved everything beautiful, art. So I said, let me learn graphic design.
Okay.
So I paid for classes for graphic design and video editing. Okay. And that was how I started.
So how much did you pay?
There are some classes I paid 1,000 naira,
wow.
Some 5,000, some 10,000. So it depended on the one I saw, okay. The one I came across, because we were just using social media for chatting, watching videos and all that. So it was a serious period. So I started meeting people. I started meeting coaches online. That was it. I paid for classes.
And again, like, how long did it take you to learn the skills, to acquire the skills?
Okay, for video editing, it took me just a month. Wow. Yes. For graphic design, I would say a month because I was practicing. I already had this creative mindset.
Okay.
So it wasn't really hard for me. You understand? So it wasn't really hard for me. So all I just needed was teach me, okay. Give me a task, and then the next thing that I did, I started replicating designs. So it helped my journey. Yes.
Now, you know, one thing I've come to realize about graphic design is that there is the wow designer.
Yes.
And there is the just there average designer.
Yes.
You know, the wow designer is that designer that just brings something to tell them something and they bring it to life.
Yes.
Then the just average designer is that kind of designer that
yeah.
So let's just say, what's the difference between this wow, you're a graphics designer?
Yes.
For someone who wants to, okay, let me put it in another dimension. You pick 2 designs right now.
Yes.
Okay. There is this effect that comes with the wow designer.
Yes.
Then the average designer is just there.
Yes.
How can somebody who is an average designer push him or herself to become the wow designer?
Okay, you know, when you talk about graphics, I would say they are visual elements used to convey information or tell a story. So when people talk about graphic design, some people just think it's just putting text together, pictures, and all that, and it's just graphics. That is why we see so many poor designs. When we talk about that wow graphic designer, it's someone that has learned the theoretical part of graphic design. Before you create a design, there are so many principles that you have to learn. There is this guy I know. I noticed that most of his designs are poor. Okay. And then I had a personal contact with him, and I realized that he's always complaining about theory. He said, theory, I don't, anything theory, I find it hard. So that was how I realized that this is the reason why his designs are poor. So you have to learn the principles of design. There is something called alignment. There is something called consistency, repetition, white space, typography, hierarchy. You have to learn these things, because if you don't know them, you won't know how to place a design. If there is a design, let's say a design, maybe a church flyer, how to receive your harvest, for example. When you say how to receive your harvest, out of that sentence, you should know the word that is the most important. So we're talking about receiving and then your harvest. So there is something called typography. There is a text that has to be bigger. There's a text that has to be smaller. So these are the things that you need to learn. And when we talk about alignment, your designs have to be in alignment, either left, right, or center. So when you take all these things into consideration, your designs are going to come out well. So the average designer is someone that hasn't really understood the principles. You have to know the principles, the theory first before the practical. So when you have the principles and you have that creativity, you can bet a good design, a good concept.
You know, looking at you now, as a young person, you finished school, you waited for a job you didn't see. You decided, you took the bulls by the horn by acquiring a skill. Yes. Now, how far has that skill you acquired taken you?
Oh, it has taken me places, I would say.
Tell us, please.
It has.
Do you have a company of your own?
Yes, I run a creative agency called New Zerani Concepts.
Okay.
And recently this year, we launched our printing brand, New Zerani Print and Stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes.
You print?
Yes, I print
Okay.
too. Yes,
so
I had to, you know, if you're doing graphics, some of your clients will say, can you print? And I will say no. So I just thought about it. Why not design and print and then send it to them?
Yeah. So did you have plans of maybe having printers, huge prints?
Yes, I seriously plan that in the future.
Okay,
yes.
okay. So what other things has it helped you? Like, are you ever considering, you're the boss of your own, do you have people working with you?
Yes, I work with a good number of designers.
Okay.
And video editors too.
Like, you pay them, or you pay them according to the designs they make?
Sometimes the relationship is symbiotic. You do something for me, I get jobs, you do the jobs, and I pay you.
Okay.
So that's how I do it.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you get your customers?
In the online space, first of all, the first thing I did was position myself.
Okay.
So I worked on my personal branding. So I had to let people know that this is me. My name is Conso. I am a graphic designer. I'm a video editor. So I had to let people know that this is what I do. So I became intentional with building my personal brand. So, you know, when you put yourself out there, you position yourself as an expert. Yeah. You talk about topics surrounding what you say or what you claim you do. Yeah. So when you do that, people start saying, wow, this person is serious. Before you know it, someone chats you up and saying, I need some designs. So that is how it starts. Wow. Right? That is how it started in the online space. And from there, people started seeing that I do this, I do this. So when opportunities come, people mention you even when you're not there.
When you're not there.
Yes.
Has there been any time you had to reject any job?
Yes.
What kind of jobs?
Jobs that come with insults.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Like?
There are some jobs that people would give you and then they make it look like they are doing you a favor. And there are some red flags that you would see. There are some people that will say, when you give someone a job, when we get jobs, there are number of times that you have to do a revision on that particular flyer. For example, a flyer. So if I'm designing a flyer for you, you don't expect me to keep correcting and correcting and correcting. When you give me the details and I run everything, you're expected to do at least 2 revisions. So there are some clients that would say, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Imagine when you're correcting on like 7 times on a design, you're comparing the monetary value, and you see that it's not really making sense. So when you see those red flags, I reject jobs like that.
Oh,
and
wow.
then jobs that come with insults, you know,
Okay.
people trying to making it look like they are doing you a favor by giving you that job, but you are actually solving a problem that they have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yes.
that's great. So what is it like to be a female in the graphics world? Because most wow graphics designers that I know are
Yes.
usually guys.
Yes.
I don't think I've actually met a female, maybe I'm yet to meet them, all right, that have this kind of wow, you know, that kind of wow effect.
Yes.
You know, there is design, and there are, as in, that design with that wow.
Yes.
You see that and you're like, wow.
Yes.
What's it like?
Initially, it was tough because most of my colleagues then were mostly guys.
I said so.
So when we talk about recognition in the online space, you know, in the business of things happening around, you see men. So what I just did was, I just became myself. I was just consoled, putting myself out there. And then another thing I did was I started collaborating with other women. So while we did that, we started putting ourselves out there. And gradually the recognitions came.
Okay.
But most of my colleagues, they are men. They are men because you hardly find women that are in this industry.
Yeah.
It's hard, but they exist.
Yeah, they do, but
And when you see them, they are actually doing well.
and they're exceptional, right?
Yes,
And the
yes,
essence of
yes.
having this conversation is for us to have more women.
Yes.
You know, you're quite inspirational. You said
Thank
you
you.
finished school.
Yes.
You did your NYSC.
Yes.
You looked for a job you didn't find.
Yes.
And as at that time, it was a pandemic era. People were at home. There was lockdown. So probably you were online. You started thinking of, what can I do? What can I do? How can I be different? You decided to pick up a skill.
Yes.
And I believe you me, a lot of persons picked up several skills in that 2020. And this graphics is still one of them.
Yes.
So for a young person who is watching us right now, how can the young person actually start up? Be you a female, be you a male, how can the person actually start up in this journey of becoming a graphic designer?
Actually, for a young person, you must decide that you want to be a problem solver.
Okay.
Because when we talk about graphics,
You actually see it as solving a problem.
yes, because when we talk about graphics now, especially in the face of technology, when we talk about graphics, good design is good business. Take a look at MTN, take a look at all these BS,
All of them.
banks.
Yeah.
They work, everything is graphics. Without graphics, everything, it's not just about pretty pictures, text, it's about that experience.
For someone that's actually listening, watching us,
Yes.
that may not really understand what graphics is, in your mind's eye, can you explain really what is graphics?
Okay, basically, simply, graphics is visual elements used to convey information or tell a story. So there are so many aspects of graphics. There are graphics in videos, there are graphics in virtual reality, games, there are graphics, there are high-tech graphics. So all these graphics, they are to give you an experience. And when there are so many jobs out there that need people to work on graphics, this graphics actually creates jobs. It gives people this experience, an unforgettable experience. And when you put good graphics out there, people would want to pay to get that experience. So as a young person, you should see yourself as a problem solver.
Okay.
You should see yourself as a problem solver. Most people entered into this industry having money. I did that.
Yeah.
In fact, after I learned a graphic design course, the next thing I went to do was to teach.
Are you serious?
Yes. And it was a mistake I made. I ran to teach. In fact, the first money I made, someone scammed me of that money.
Wow.
So I had to sit back. I had to learn. I had to calm down. I had to learn. In as much as I already have this creativity in me, I needed to understand those principles. Not just that, I needed to understand the business of the skill, because it's not just having that skill.
There is a business of the skill.
Yes, you have to understand the business of the skill, because you can be a broke expert. You can know what you do, but if you don't know how to place yourself in the industry, you're going to be broke. So as a young person, you have to calm down. Calm down and learn first. When you learn, gradually the money is going to come, because you have to build yourself first. You have to become a person of value. If your designs are not great, nobody is going to patronize you.
True.
Nobody is going to call you. So
I agree with you.
You have to calm down and learn. And you don't need to have everything before you start.
Okay.
You can design with phone. I started this. I design with phone.
Okay.
I can sit down here.
Yes, I was about to ask that one.
Yes, I can
and
sit
also
down.
to ask the apps.
Yes.
What kind of apps do you use?
You can use. I use Pixel Lab.
Okay.
Pixel Lab is a free app. It doesn't even need data. It's a free app. Download it on Google Play Store. You can make awesome designs, functional designs with your phone. There is Canva. Canva works in phone and on laptop. So you don't need to
Canva
have...
is the most, I think, the most popular.
Yes. And you don't need to have a laptop. You can start with your phone. You can make a lot of money. As a graphic designer, you can manage people's pages with your graphics.
Okay.
You can create social media designs for organizations, for businesses, and then you make your money. So you just have to learn first, use what you have, because what you have is enough. Use what you have, and then gradually grow. Learn the business part of it, and then start putting yourself out there.
Okay, looking at graphics in the face of technology, I mean, what's the future of graphics in technology?
It's actually, the progress is so fast, because with the
AI?
Yes, will I say with the influx of AI, because I would say this year is an
AI year.
Yeah, because so many, when you're trying to catch up, more
are coming out.
Yes.
And it's people building these things, right?
People. So there are so many. AI has helped me a lot, because I had to venture into prompt engineering.
Okay.
I started learning how to prompt. So whenever I get a job, let's say someone wants me to, there was a design I did for my church. It had to do with harvest, because we're in the season of harvest.
I think I saw that design.
Yeah, so I was thinking, what do I know? How to receive your harvest? I had to go to my AI tool, and I just asked my AI tool to give me someone receiving a harvest. And amazing enough, it showed me a basket, a hand receiving a basket, and then a hand giving it to that person. And I used it to make my design. So we used to complain we don't have resources to design, we don't have pictures, background images, that we barely have black people to use for our designs as black people that we are, but we don't have any excuse now. You can prompt, you just have to learn prompting. When you learn how to prompt, tell the AI what you're thinking, just your imaginations, put it out there, and then the AI gives you what you want, and you use it for your design. So it has helped a lot. AI has helped a lot since it came in. I don't kill myself. I don't go to pay for some websites, because sometimes you have to pay to get premium images.
Yeah.
Yes, premium PNG, premium icons for your design. So this time around, I don't need to. All I just need to do is to learn how to prompt. When you learn how to prompt, give the system what you want, and it gives you, and you use it for your design.
And you were intentional, right?
Yes.
You were intentional.
Yes.
So what about that young person who, you know, there are actually young people who find it difficult to flow with the trend.
Yes.
You know, there are people who, when new things come up and it's supposed to help their work, their line of duty, they try to ignore it. Maybe it's too complicated for them. How can they make it uncomplicated?
You know, that's why we have things like basics.
Okay.
So first thing you should do is to, Google is your friend. Go to Google, start with the basics of AI. You can start with learning the terminologies. Okay, what is AI? What is tech? There are so many terminologies in AI. What do those things mean? When you find out what they mean, then you now start with free tools that you can use. If you truly want to understand AI, Google YouTube is your friend. There are so many videos that you can get to learn the basics. That is how you follow trends. And then there are so many websites. You can go to Quora.com. Quora gives you everything that you need. Google, just type it. Trends. There are so many websites. There are so many blogs, tech blogs, that when you go there, everything you're looking for, you get it there. So if you want to follow the trend, because it is so fast, when you think you're here, more is coming out. So it's just start with the basics. That is what I would advise. Start with the basics.
Okay, that being said, you know, basically, you as a person, apart from the challenge that it seems like you're the only female when you started out, for a young person who want to get into graphics, what should the person expect? Like, what challenges should the person see?
You know, most people say that the industry is competitive.
Okay.
It may be, but I think there is always a room for everybody.
Okay.
As long as you stay at the top of your game, you are not two. You have your uniqueness. So there is something that you have to give out to the world. For example, this year, I started creating coloring books.
Okay.
For kids.
Okay.
For 2 years of age.
Okay.
And I started using AI to do that. I don't add anything. I don't download anything. AI. You draw a ball. AI gives you a colored ball. AI gives you a white, black art of that particular ball. So this is a coloring book for kids. They look at this and then they paint it with AI. So I can make a lot of money just with coloring books. All I just have to do is to get it ready, go and pitch myself to schools. And when they see that your book is good, why not? One person, one school will take you. So some people think that the industry is competitive. You can find your own. So if I finish this, all I just have to do is to go and meet schools and tell them this is what I've done. This is for 2 years of age. And then they go with it. I can create comics with AI.
Oh, really?
Yes, comics with speech bubbles. So my plan is actually next year to get a good number of kids to start teaching them how they can create comics and tell stories.
Wow.
With AI, you create everything. If it's a story of elephant and the lion, with AI, all you just have to do is to prompt, tell the AI, this is what you're imagining, this is what you want.
And you learned it by yourself?
Yes, I was just following people online, and then I was just reading articles. Yes. That was it, and I started practicing.
That's quite interesting. So where is history in all these things you're doing right now?
I don't think history is anywhere. I don't think history is anywhere. In fact, in the future, I'm not even thinking of, doing anything close to history yet. I think I'm just, for now, I'm just looking at project management, because I'm looking at the skills I have, the things I know I can do. For example, I'm good with ideation.
Okay.
You can give me something and I take it and expand it.
Okay.
Some people, you give them something, they move it from here to here. But some people, they can expand. So I realized that I have that ideation. You can tell me this is what you're thinking. Before you know it, I'm telling you, I'm taking it too far. And you're like,
you can do this, you can do that, you can do that.
Yes, and I'm like, you'll be like, you never really thought this thing is too big. This my dream is looking too big. That is what I do. So I'm thinking that I have to go and learn project management, because I can actually organize an event. All I just have to do is to be certified, learn more about it. So I don't think I'm moving towards history. but now.
You're studying history. Does it have an impact on what you're doing right now? Because you've actually moved away from history to technology.
Yes.
So does it have an impact? Can you look back and said, okay, the skills I gained while as a student is helping me in this area or that area?
When we talk about history, I think that if you're talking about history now, we are going to talk about 2023 as that period that's AI. That is history. So when we talk about history, we are still going to talk about maybe technology and civilization, maybe as a topic. Maybe in the near future, we are still going to talk about this 20 2000, yes. In this 2000, I mean,
Yeah.
this period of the 19th century and the 20th century and the 21st century. Yes. So we're still going to talk about AI. So I think by then I'll be part of the history.
Okay, so as we round it up, what advice would you have for a young lady in particular, a young lady out there who, a young guy, because this program is for teenagers.
Okay.
One thing I realized about young people is that this idea of waiting for white collar jobs, you know, waiting for somebody to hand a meal over to them. What advice would you have for them? Because even when you meet them and tell them, get a skill, the first question they will ask you, what skill? How much are they going to pay me? What advice do you have for them?
I think for a young person, first of all, you should be thinking of how to change the world. You should, your mindset should be, how can I change the world? How can I change my society? Because that is how I see it.
Okay.
How can I change my life? How can I change the world? How can I change the society? You have to think of the future. You have to have the future in view, because as a young person, you're not just living your life because you're here. In fact, these people are actually the amazing set of people we have right now, because the world is growing so fast. There are so many ideas in us, so many potentials in us. You just have to ask yourself the question, what can I do? There are so many business ideas that you can put out there. You can infuse it with technology, you can infuse it with AI, and you're doing it. So you just have to ask yourself, what is that thing I'm good at? Think about the one that has economic value. Because some people will say, go follow your passion, follow your heart. I would say, think of the one that has economic value first, before you talk about your passion. So if you say your passion is makeup, you want to do makeup, does it have economic value? Okay. If it doesn't have economic value, you can keep it aside for now. Go for the one that has economic value. You can use it to fund your passion. So we have so many potentials in us, because what's the worst that could happen? Just do it. What is that thing you're thinking of? Do it. Take a first step. What you have is enough. There are so many young people using iPhone. They don't even know. Do you know some people code with phone? When I heard that, I was surprised. Some people code with phone. Do you know what it takes for you to code with phone? Like, it's also uncomfortable, but people are doing it. People are doing amazing things with their phone.
With their phones.
YouTubing with phone, blogging with phone, vlogging. People are doing a lot of things with phone. So don't just sit around and say, I don't have it, I don't have money. You can start creating content in this Onitsha. There are so many people, what they do is they go to eateries, eat their food, talk about the eateries, and they gain a lot of following. And when you gain a lot of following, people start paying you to run adverts. You become an influencer. We don't even have influencers in this Onitsha. We don't, in fact, I am actually thinking towards that area, because we don't have them. So you can start running adverts, advertising people's businesses. There are so many beautiful places in this Onitsha. You can start showing it to the world. We have this in Onitsha. There is this wine shop in Onitsha. There is this hotel in Onitsha. Talk about hotels. Meet 50 hotels. Tell them that you're going to be talking about their products, their services, whatever they do. Just 50 hotels in Onitsha. Just start with one first. Before you know it, you've done something with your phone. With your phone, take a picture of yourself walking around. Okay, so we have this hotel here. They have 20 ACs. They have this. That is a skill. That is something. You can start doing YouTubing. You can start talking about the beauty of Onitsha. How many people? So there is so much. There are so many things that you can do as a young person. Sitting down, it shows that you're not even serious, because you don't have any excuse. Like right now, you don't have any excuse. If you have phone, even if you don't have phone, you can borrow your friend's phone, shoot a video, put it out there. And then, so there are so many potentials in us. It's just for us to know that we have this. And when you are thinking problem solving, what you're seeing is problems. You're seeing problems. And when you keep seeing problems, the next thing is solutions. So find a problem to solve. When you find a problem to solve, I think you're on your way.
Wow, that's
Yes.
amazing. Finding a problem. I mean, knowing that you're a solution provider
Yes.
and not part of the problem,
Yes.
which is very, very important. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you.
Console.
Thank you.
Console.
Console. Yes.
I mean, you brought in your wealth of knowledge to this topic, and like I said, I look forward to having you yet again here, because we have to talk about different sides of these graphics, you know. And there are a lot of young people out there. You've heard from her, you've seen her. She's a graphic designer, and she started when the entire world was locked in. She decided what she can do. Right now, today, she owns a company of her own, and she's even thinking of bigger things to do. You can still be that person that will think of bigger things to do. Don't wait on the government or wait on anyone to hand over a meal ticket to you. You can actually go out there and reach out for things by yourself. Thank you so much once again, Console, for coming here. And we look forward to having you again. I am Oma, you're very sweet on radio and TV. See you next time on the program.